Welcome to the Divorce Devil Podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Rachel. Follow us as we dive into all the positive and negatives of post-divorce recovery. Stay tuned for some real and sometimes raw end-of-the-road divorce topics. Please put on your big pants because we're full of honesty, authenticity, and irrefutable truths.
This progressive podcast ain't for the faint-hearted. Enjoy. So today, folks, welcome to Divorce Devil episode 78. We're talking about 6 strategies not to become, in order not to become cynical, paranoid, or just plain mean after divorce.
That's a hard thing to do, especially right out of divorce, right?
Or right during divorce.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, right out of marriage, I guess I should say. You're just pissed. You're just pissed at everything. So how do you find your... Okay, not everybody's an asshole. Not everybody's out to get you. Not everybody isn't genuine. I mean, there are a lot of things that go into just life after divorce. I mean, I like I said, I've lost friends. I've lost family members that just didn't side with me, and I mean, there was a lot of times where I had to step back and be like, okay, now you're being an asshole, because I wasn't going to let anybody hurt me first. So what's your number one?
Kill or be killed.
Yeah.
So did you do number one? Or you just said...
No, I'm
okay.
not going... I didn't do no number one.
My number one strategy not to become cynical, paranoid, or just plain mean after divorce is having realistic expectations. Realize that you're going to be pissed. Realize that it's going to hurt. Realize that people are going to whisper up behind their back. Have all those realities set and ready to go and not be surprised. Because I think the more you're surprised, the more you become cynical, paranoid, and just plain.
But do you think that's... Each situation is different, though. Like, if you hear someone's talking shit about you, you get mean. You're like, okay, so I don't have to tell you my side because it's going to come out. But why are you talking about me when you have your own shit? I'm going to call you out on your shit now. And that's what we're trying to prevent. Like, you're just not going to fight fire with fire. You're going to, how do you be the bigger person when you're going through that? You're so sad. You're so mad. You're so, like, confused. Especially if you didn't pull the plugs. If you were the one that was on the outside of that going, I had no idea. Like, okay, now what? It's that proverbial, you need to get your ducks in a row. I didn't know who my ducks were. I didn't know. And we had moved, from Jersey to here. And so I didn't have any family here other than my kids. So when they sided with their dad in the beginning, I was like, okay, I really have nothing. And then my best friend left. And then, it was like, my best friend's friends who were friends with her longer, are they on my side? Or, because we had just gone through this with her, finding out that her husband wasn't faithful and actually had a secret life and all this other stuff, and we all band together and helped her out and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like... Yeah, and so then it was technically my turn, but I didn't want to turn. I don't want you to help me. I don't know what I need, and like I said, I'm one of those, I get silent, I figure my shit out, and then, haphazardly be like, oh, okay, squirrel's out, what's happening now, and I feel like each day in the beginning there was something new that just, smacked me in my head of reality, like, oh, that person said that, but it's what degree of it, and I'm definitely one of those, when I'm in that space, I'm coming to you. Like, I heard that you said this, and a lot of people don't like to be confronted. So that was something that took a while, especially being from Jersey. We are very upfront. We're like, hey, yo, you got something to say?
2 things.
Yeah.
Be the bigger person. Don't respond.
That's hard to do, though. It's hard to do.
It is hard to do, but with practice, you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the first...
And the second thing, I got 2 things.
Oh, go ahead.
Second thing is a couple of podcasts ago, I think I told you that I healed or I went to my happy place by thinking everybody was stupid until proven otherwise.
Yeah, that's a good way to start, though.
Yeah, that's a but you can't keep doing that.
But that's cynical. Yeah, that's that. And why do people have to prove to you that they're a good person? Why can't you just trust them?
I'm at the rock bottom, man.
Yeah, no,
I'm
saying,
at the bottom of my shit.
Yeah, and that's part of mine too. Like, I feel like you really have to reach your depths of hell, divorce devil, blah, 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 to figure out what's important too. Like, that friend may have been there for you, when you were struggling with something different, and they can't be there for you with the divorce because they have no idea what you're going through. And that's okay. But you have to see, the people that actually stick around. And, I definitely was someone who didn't want advice, especially early on, because the people that were coming at me, I know their stuff. So it's like when your village is going through some shit and you know their shit and they're coming and try and give you advice, you're like, I'm not so sure. No, I don't want that. Mm-mm. And when I finally said it to people is when I lost a lot of the people who I thought were friends. And some of those people who, were more of acquaintances or bystanders, they were the ones who picked up those pieces of the people who couldn't be there for me anymore.
But supposedly losing those friends can make you maybe more cynical and more paranoid because you lost a friend.
Yeah. But, someone who said they were going to be your,
But in retrospect, they did you a favor.
Yeah.
But you don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
So we're here to tell you and help you realize it quicker that losing some of your friends is a good thing.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, some of us need to lose some friends.
David?
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway.
When I have no words and David's right.
Oh, yeah.
We need to add some music there because this silence is going to kill one of us, and it probably won't be me. There we go. I think...
Out of the park.
You did hit that one out of the park. Yeah, I am definitely the proverbial good friend. I stay in way too long, and David, I swear. We were having a conversation before about, cutting ties with some friends, but I think I don't know what someone else is going through, so I'm always trying to be that positive, uplifting thing. But when it comes to myself, I'm the petty party. I need to have a petty party and this and that. And, I actually had a mental breakdown, and so divorce is tough. And to not fall into the traps and those, the ditches of, divorce. It's
bitches?
Ditches?
I said bitches.
The ditches. I mean, okay. You fall in a ditch,
Okay.
To bring yourself back out of it, I feel like you go through all those phases anyway. You become cynical. You become, I'm paranoid. Like everybody's mad at me. Everybody's against me. Nobody wants to hear my side because his side was out and he has more family. And I mean, I was getting messages all the time and like, how could you do this? And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't need to tell you his shit. Let him do that. But yeah, he didn't want to do that. So it's not my job to tell you his shit.
And then how did you get out of it? How did you?
So one of the main things, like I said, was the divorce support group. That was a really, really big point where I actually said, I need help, but I wanted neutral help. I didn't want the people who were, I don't know, who had any stake in it to give me advice. And I am not good at asking for advice or at asking for help, especially as a nurse. I'm the helper. So going there and seeing that other people were feeling that, and there was people in every walks of life, from high corporate to, dog walker. I don't know. But, so there was a lot of people who had the same feelings and, didn't want help. They wanted answers, but they didn't want to put in the work. And I think I just wanted like some resolve and when's it going to end? When's all the bullshit going to end? And, one of my really good friends, she's been divorced about 5 or 6 years. And she goes, it takes a good 5 years for you to feel that stability. And yes, shit happens. Her ex-husband financially ruined them and their house was foreclosed and all this stuff. And now she's like, she just bought her own house. She just did all this stuff. Her daughter just get married. Like there's just all these things that are falling into place.
Success story.
Yeah. And I feel like, I see the light a lot of times and then it just comes crashing back down. And it's generally financial because I didn't know all the stuff that was, the behind the scenes, which was another thing that caused me to be cynical. Like I trust nobody with my money. It's my money. But yeah, I've learned that, when I've had this stuff, Lance has been there. Like, he's like, we're going to get through this together. And, without saying like, I'm in a good place, I always feel like, okay, when's the next shoe going to drop? So that makes me very like, I need to have this, I need to do this. And I think it actually helps you get your shit together too. Because then like, hey, this is on me now. This is on me technically, and again, I have a great partner and, he's willing to, see me at my worst. And, it generally comes out in the positive, and just having that support is really wonderful. So
what's your other?
So my other one is, my village, leaning on my village.
Damn it. That's mine.
Okay. We can both lean on our village. We can both.
We can't have the same thing. That's my number 2.
Well, then we'll have to come up with a random one. We'll have to come up with an on the spot number 6.
I'm done. I'm out.
Oh, you stop it. You asked me. You could have went first. I would have let you. I mean, it's not we're not in that same society where girls have to go first.
But we don't have to. God,
this is why
we're becoming one.
We don't talk about Bruno. No, we don't talk about what we say on here because we want it to be very spontaneous. So, all right. Well, tell me how your village helped you, and I'll tell you how my village helped me. All right.
Mine is form a great and true village, because some of your villagers are not in your corner. Kind of like you got to pick your friends.
David, if you look over here, I'm going to stab you with something. Like a pin.
So sometimes the villagers in there, because, you got the village idiot, you got the king, you got the
serial dater.
The serial dater. You got
Look at that.
Yes.
I mean, you have some common things. Can't you grow out of that? You can progress from that.
From what?
A serial dater. I mean, the friend is only like a year and a half out.
But I love Captain Crunch and Rice Krispies.
But here's the deal. You were there, and you're telling me to kick that person to the curb because they're doing that, and their picker's off. How do you fix a picker?
Anyway, form a great and
so
true
look,
village.
I'm right. You want to change the subject, right?
Yes, form a true and great village. Some of your villagers will be divorced.
The gesture.
Some of them won't be divorced. Some of the villagers will be your family. Sometimes you need the Knicks family. Oh my God! Knicks.
But you yell at me all the time for nixing them too. But you know,
that's my job. And
and I think we go through different phases where you don't know who's actually in your corner until they disappoint you.
Yeah, and it's almost like they're going to disappoint you. It's just a matter of time.
What did you say earlier? What is the definition of insanity?
Thinking that things are going to change with the same effort.
Actions, effort, whatever, yeah. Yep. Repeating the cycle is, not changing, you're going to get hit by a car. Okay. You got to get hit by a car. Okay. I got hit by a car. Got hit by a car. Yep. Okay. So we get it, but I feel like, what we were talking about, when you're picking your village, you have to go through some trials and tribulations too. Yep. You have to see where they're going to disappoint. And a lot of my friendships, especially here, haven't been through all my shit. Like all the things I've gone through in my life. I have probably 2 friends from high school that I still talk to. I probably have 4 or 5 friends I still talk to from college or, early 20s. Mm-hmm. And then I have friends that I, met, like that I have, my one best friend from home. We've been through some stuff together and she's always been there. And we've maybe had 2 fights and it was generally over someone else in our friend group and people not believing me or believing that that person was shitty. But I also am that person that tries to see the best of people too and don't realize they're shitty until I've literally been thrown in front of the car and they run me over.
In front of the car, run you over. That's what it takes?
Pretty much.
I'll remember that.
David, if I come back next week and I've broken arms and legs, it was David.
Yeah.
Wait, should I take an insurance policy out right now?
No.
I mean, that would help me.
No.
We're not committing insurance and fraud. Don't worry, people. But okay, so my thing with my village is women are fucking catty, right? So women in our village, we will like take you out. We were like, we eat our young, So one of those, when you find a village that will, go on social media and tell that person who cheated on you with 3 other people how bad of a person they are and that they're shitty, and let the world know how shitty they are because they're a serial cheater. That's the kind of village you want. Like, that's the kind of village I want. I know that I want that person to have my back no matter what, because I know their shit, they know my shit. And I think, sometimes the ugly stuff, dating is a very small part of my friend village. We have children, we go to outings, we watch, we support each other for their music, stuff. We support each other for anything that they're doing. And dating is such a small part of it that, I wouldn't kick a friend to the curb because they have a bad picker in dating.
That's called ride or die.
Exactly. So, I think we all go through phases. And again, she's early out of divorce and she's trying to figure out what she likes. And yes, she's probably picking the same typical guy and she needs to step outside that. But I think she's learning too that trusting after you've had that is really hard.
Big time.
So, we've talked about before, I'm a big advocate for putting walls up. And I've learned just in, especially because of the podcast, I've learned that, yeah, I put up walls, but they're not made of like concrete, rebarb, all that other stuff. They're more
like Charmin.
Yeah, they're
Charmin
more
walls.
of, this is a protection, fight or flight thing. And, if you give a little effort, my wall will go down pretty quick. It's just that, instant response of, oh shit, I feel like you're not telling me something, or I feel like something else is going to happen. Like I've had a lot of emotional stuff too in the last 6 months that I never know when I'm going to like grieve for, my niece or, my best friend or, the grandfather that my children have known because theirs passed away when they were young. So, there's just a lot of things that divorce are similar, like a grief, you got to go through all the stages. Okay. So besides, friend group, what's the next one?
Try to always stay above board.
What does that mean?
That means don't be an asshole. Don't be mean on purpose. It's an offshoot of just being plain mean. Mm-hmm. But you actually go out of your way to be mean.
Well, like I know an example of that would kind of be like when I was dating. Some of the things I wrote were like, okay, so I'm now mad. I'm going to be mean because you were late.
Dang.
So done. You're talking to other girls, but like, I don't care who it was, if you were dating or whatever. Oh, I'm done. Because, that to me was a no. That was an automatic no. So I didn't give people a chance because of anything that resembled my ex or exes or any situation that was in that was scary or, that I might get hurt, but you're okay with it, or you have no remorse of being shitty. I'm going to be shitty first. So like with Kim, she's like, he chews too loud. Out. I'm out. I can see his food. Like
he's breathing in and out. He's got
breathing.
To go.
Yeah.
His eyes are blinking. God,
and
get out of here.
Yeah, and I think I went through that. Once you find out that you're, you remember how you were saying like, you didn't think you were pretty or you were desirable or all that stuff. And I think we all go through that too. But I got to a point when I was like, yeah, I'm too cute for you. You're an ass. Bye. Like I got to that because it was
totally reversed.
The walls were so once my brain and my heart and all that was like, oh, you're cute, you're pretty, you're this, people want to date you, da da da. And like, oh, now I get to be the player. Look at the role reversal and look at that stereotype of only men can be a player. I went through that like, nope, I got 3 dates today, so who wants to play? So there was a lot of, I'm going to be mean because someone was mean to me. And that lasted probably about 2 weeks. The word ghosted, when I actually, thought someone was, deserving of a second date. Yes, I know I said that, but, and he's just like, no, I don't think so.
Dang.
Some of the things you said. I'm like,
See?
And I'm not that
canceled before you can cancel.
And I'm not that person, but I was that person just to protect myself. Like I wasn't giving anybody a shot or a chance because, okay, every person that I have put time and effort into has disappointed me. So every person from here on out is going to disappoint me. And I think it took me going home to see my brother and my bestie and all that. They're like, you just need to not do what you think people want to hear or what people want to, I was people pleasing, but like a weird way. Like, I'm going to let you be disrespectful. I'm going to let you do that because I don't really care. We're not going anywhere. We're not having a relationship. We're not doing this. And they're like, that's not who you are. That's not who you are. And you deserve love. And I think it took a lot for me to know that I deserve love because I left even though the situation was leavable, so, and again, that was a big, that was a hard truth for me. Like the guilt from that, even though I needed to go, it was still a guilt. So what's your third? Oh,
stay above board.
Okay.
Go into it. Yeah. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
It's you kind of reap what you sow.
Yeah. Well,
and karma's a bitch, man. Karma comes back, but it doesn't come right away. It takes a sweet time. But if you're on the wrong side of karma, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah. And shit, people make mistakes and, owning your piece of the mistake and, for example, say you cheated. Say you were the one who cheated, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, fuck, I messed up. Now my marriage is over. Now my family hates me. Now this person, And I feel like if you own up to it and you come from like a place of, like you've reached your rock bottom. You've done all that. You've done all the hard work and you try to do better and you consciously tried to be good. There's hope for everybody, I believe. I don't think unless you're a serial cheater, because we just discussed that. But yep. That's also a sickness. That's like an addiction of some sort too, I believe. So I think therapy, my number one of getting helps, and no matter what it is, it could be your friend village, it could be your family, it could be anybody, it could be your best friend. I think that's a big part of how we heal and become a better person, become enlightened or, awakened to whatever you believe. And, let's try to be kinder. Let's try to be, a better person no matter our circumstance, because there's always someone's worse, especially when you go to those groups and stuff like that and you hear like someone else's story. But my third, I'm surprised you didn't say this, David, is podcasting. Journaling, talking about it. I think the more times you tell your story
that should be number one. Damn it. I've been trumped.
Maybe I went backwards. I went 3, 2, 1, the best of them.
Dang.
But like journaling, like before I had podcasting, I was journaling and I knew I had a voice and I knew my whole life has been surviving and helping people, from a young age, just in general, like doing the, pay it forwards, all that stuff. But when my friend and I, co-hosted on your other podcast, it really sparked this. How can I help one person? Yep. How can I help 2 people? And if those 2 people help somebody else, look at that. Now 4 people are helped. And journaling helped me see that I was in a rut and I was feeling the same thing and I was insane basically because I was doing the same actions,
craziness,
but not changing how I was viewing them or how I was getting help. And I think once I started doing the group, I really was like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't have to be drinking. It can go, let's go for a walk, or let's just go to the mountains and, do nothing. Let's, walk around your neighborhood or call a friend. Hey, you want to come over for tea, or you want to come over and let's watch a movie. And it doesn't have to be, this epiphany, this, the angels come down from the heavens and say, hey, you need to do this. It just has to take one great day to remind you that it's going to be okay.
It's going to be worth it.
Yeah. And it takes that one friend checking in on you or making you a shake and telling me to eat the fucking cookie because I'm losing too much weight or my teeth are falling out and all this other stuff. So you have to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and above all, you need to be kind to yourself. That's really, really important. And I think we've lost a lot of kindness, especially since COVID. I feel like, people are one way or the other and there's no gray anymore. It's black, white, and that's it,
Thank you for your time. Customer service sucks. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, because we've been, a lot of people are enamored with staying home. Like they're working from home. I'm off literally for 2 weeks from school and I'm going insane. Like I need people. I'm so extroverted, but then I have my little introverted moments where I need a little bit of a break. But I'm like, I don't get to see the kids all day. I don't get to see my friends at work all day. Like what? I have things to say.
But enjoy the time off, man. Enjoy it.
Yeah. And I'm a big project person, but I'm also like, it was a rough year. It was a tough nursing year, a tough school year, tough everything. I mean, and it's coming up. We're trying to get back to normal. And I think about divorce. You're just trying to get to some normal.
Some semblance of that.
Some normal. And then, a lot of this when I was thinking about our topic was, there were so many pity parties.
Oh yeah.
But I needed to have like an actual, you are awesome party. You woke up today, you got dressed, you showered, you went to work, you did this, you fed your child, you did, stuff, you did laundry. Woohoo. Like, let's celebrate the little things, especially early in divorce people. Early in divorce, it's almost like that blank, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And then, after the year and then after 2 years and it gets easier. And yes, there's bumps in the road and like my kid didn't talk to me forever. And, now we're finally getting back to some space, but it's very guarded, which is okay. And it's baby steps. So I don't know. We need to come up with another one because we both had the, I think, what do you think another way? I think conscious decisions to go, I'm going to be happy today.
Conscious, positive decisions. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one. Like we need
I'm glad I thought of it.
I helped you come up with it. I literally telepathied. I don't know the past tense of that right this second, but I gave you some brain energy across the laptops. But yeah, I think if you just wake up every day and be like, okay, cool, thank you. I got to wake up, universe. Okay, great. I have a job. Or, I think too, when you're going through divorce, keeping yourself busy. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially for me, I'm a task. I need to keep busy. Like, when we had my thing last couple weeks, like I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, or a week and a half ago. Went to work and it was really sad. And I was like, okay, let me do my little thing. But now I need to keep focused because I don't want to be in that space too long because I know where I can get to that, woe is me. And again, the helper in me was like, all right, let me go see who needs to talk about it. Or let me see who needs to, get some of their anger out or their, what did I miss or, why, so I'm definitely a big, like, let me keep myself busy. Let me, get my thoughts together. And then generally I rise up. So, at some point you have to consciously say, I'm going to be happy today. Yep. And it doesn't have to be an hour. It can be now. Yeah.
You can start with a minute, second, 10 seconds, but you need to start the process. And
there's a lot of triggers that will bring that in. I mean, even writing what I was going to say today, there were some triggers. Like, I'm like,
she came with a full pad today. So she was on it.
Yeah. I think the only thing that helped me in the beginning too, I mean, besides therapy and stuff, but one of the main things was, my the village. It was definitely one of the big things. Like, I didn't think I deserved to be happy in a relationship because I pulled the plug on a relationship, even though it was a toxic relationship.
What?
Yeah. I didn't think I would deserve to be happy.
Gotcha.
So, my village was like, hey, no, that's not it. You need to laugh. You need to do this. And, a lot of times it was, what was that? There was an app, that you can it was like FaceTime, but it was an app that we would go. And like one of my girlfriends would always be in the closet, like drinking wine. I'm like, why are you in the closet? She's like, it's where it's quiet. I forget what it's called, but,
closet wine.
Yeah. And so like, we'd all have our space. Okay. We're all going to get online today and we're all just going to talk, even if we couldn't see each other. But it was one of those, like, I need a good laugh. I need a, like, look, guess what this one did today? Or guess what that shithead did today? Or, can you believe that person came to school and said that? Or, so it's, I think, you got to find peace with yourself, be kind to yourself. And, cynical's really tough because it's really easy to get cynical. I mean,
oh yeah, that's a rabbit hole for sure.
I mean, especially with COVID, like I feel like a lot more people are cynical with COVID. It's like, it's either you're masked, you're not, you're vaccinated, you're not, there's no in between. It's like, I hate everybody and I hate peopling, and peopling is hard, especially when you don't know what people think. So because we've become a society where we're, more, recluse indoors or whatever, I think we need to get back to human because we need each other. We need to, there's a lot of people going through some shit and, listen to our podcast, spread our podcast. And, we hope we even help people who are married and no, it's hard to get divorced and this shit comes up and, you can forgive, but you also have to remember too that, you need to know your worth and your value and, what it takes to not be mean and not be paranoid and cynical. And there are great people out there. Look at us. We know.
Scary.
We found some really awesome people.
Look at us.
We found some really awesome people and we love our podcast and we love our fans who always, who email us and, Warren, you're still up there, boy.
Warren K.
Warren K. Yeah, we did. He did throw out the vasectomy. Should you get a vasectomy thing? And I was a little weird. I was like, "What is happening, David? If we say that word online, David's whole body just goes." Blah,
I'm okay
blah.
with it. Vasectomy.
We do read emails. David's fit. Okay, so he's not comfortable with it because it takes us snipping to your man parts. But it's okay. If that's what you... Radio silence crickets. Put your little cricket noise on. Watch YouTube, people. Watch YouTube. It's part of the show. And
okay, so
go ahead.
Recap your 3.
I don't even know.
Well, my 3 were having realistic expectations, form in a great and true village, and try to always stay above board.
I don't know what I said, David. That was a long
one
time
of yours
ago.
was a village.
Your podcasting, village, check-ins, therapy. That was one. That helped. Group. Going into the group to see that I wasn't the only person going through these things, and it doesn't matter what your profession is, where you are in life or whatever, everybody's going to go through these things. And a divorce is like a grief. There's many stages and they come and go and you don't have to do all of them at once. And, some of them hit you. You're triggered by, again, there's some trigger things that happened to me last week. And I, had my day where I was just like, I can't fucking take anymore. What next day you wake up, your eyes are all fucking swollen and then you're pissed off more. And then you're like, I'm just going to put up all these walls and everybody sucks and everybody's an asshole and I'm not going to talk to anybody. Well, that's not a fulfilled life. So, seek some type of therapy. The podcast, if any of it, go back, listen to some of the old ones. We have some really great, we had a really great podcast about narcissism. We've had great podcasts about new divorce, old divorce, etc. That I can't market us enough. If anybody knows how to get the word out there more, just send it to somebody. Again, if I can help one person, David can help one person, and those people each help. Look at how far we've gotten. We've already got 4 people helped.
Daisy chain, baby. Daisy chain.
Yeah, and so I am really gonna make some shirts because I need to see our potential. Oh, I would wear them every freaking day. Divorce Devil.
All right, everybody out there, thank you for listening to Divorce Devil episode 78.
Woo!
6 strategies not to become cynical, paranoid, or just plain mean after divorce.
Be kind.
So think about everything we said, and we'll see you soon.
Spread kindness, people. Love you. Bye. This is...